Hey, it's spiritual politics, man. Yeah, priesthood shit. How they gonna miss the spirit with politics? I pledge allegiance to the flag that came and got us about that situation called slavery. Bitch niggas don't want to talk about it. They gonna make up all kind of elaborate stories and shit. Get ready for it. Here we go. Union soldiers made slavery over. Harriet Tubman, she was a Union soldier. Hey, hey, check 1, check 2, check 3. What it do? It's the urban guru, aka Mr. Aquaman, Mr. Aqua Boogie in the flesh. All right, the Union soldier, man, straight up. All right, man. So let's get into this. I did a rebuttal number 2 to Mr. Clay Kane, right? Rebuttal number 2 to Mr. Clay Kane about the same subject, but I want to add a little bit more to it. Okay, Clay, hey man, I've been on your Twitter. I think you seen me on your Twitter and your replies. All right, but we humbly invite you to have this conversation. But the purpose of this conversation is I'm gonna set the record straight when it comes to black people in American history. Okay, I'm tasked with that. Okay, so anyway, in the previous video, rebuttal number 2 to Clay Kane, I showed how Lincoln didn't have the presidential power at that time. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick little recap. The president don't pick the vice president until 1967. Okay, that's 103 years after Lincoln in this 1864 election. Okay, at the time of Johnson and the incumbent vice president, the first one, Hannibal Hamlin, they had to go through a vice presidential electoral vote. So you will see here that Johnson won the first vote, and then after the party shifted, he totally smoked Hamlin, totally smoked him. Okay, and I want you to pay attention to the number 3 guy, Dickinson. He's going to pop up a little later. Now, what I'm gonna do is I want to take you guys to a first-hand source. Okay, well, before I give you a first-hand source, this is somebody that's quoting the first-hand source, and then I'm gonna show you what the first-hand source said to validate exactly what you see highlighted. So when you look at the highlight and you go up to that starting paragraph where it says presidential aide John G. Nicolay reported. Okay, so this is somebody quoting the presidential aide. Okay, Lincoln's personal secretary. Read the highlight. The disposition of all the delegates, meaning the Republicans who were there to vote for the president and vice president, the disposition of all the delegates was to take any war Democrat, provided he would add strength to the ticket. See, Lincoln ain't handpicking. The delegates there, their position is, I think we better go with a war Democrat. Okay, let's validate that now. Here's some works from John Nicolay. Okay, this is Abraham Lincoln, a 10-volume set, the history of him. And the highlight says, and this is John Nicolay, it is altogether probable that the ticket of 1864 would have been nominated without a contest had it not been for the general impression in and out of the convention that it will be advisable to select a candidate for the vice presidency, a war Democrat. So this is the consensus in and out of the convention. The Republicans all around the nation at that time is saying, well, I think we better go with a war Democrat. Okay, you see it. Now, here's the final one though. Same book. All right, same primary source. Scroll up a little bit where it says Mr. Holt. And this is Lincoln saying this. Mr. Holt is a good man, but I had not heard or thought of him for vice president. Wish not to interfere about the vice president. Cannot interfere about platform. Convention must judge for itself. See, this is what I'm talking about parroting information. Ooh, the next video about to get in this Jay-Z thing. About to get in it. All right, you're gonna see. It's trust me, I'm about to show you something. Okay, so Lincoln, well, Nicolay is saying Lincoln said, somebody that was there with Lincoln, according to him, Lincoln said out of his mouth, he can't interfere about the platform. The convention must judge for itself. Lincoln did not pick Johnson. Okay, again, I just showed you the many sources that proves my point. Now, moving on to Dickinson. I want to read something to you here. All right. Before I do that, let me say this. There's a war going on inside of the party for certain positions. Okay. And Senator Charles Sumner from Massachusetts is a beast. What? Listen, Charles Sumner done so much for black people through legislation. It is crazy. All right. He actually introduced in the Senate, it was called Senate Bill 443, which was the bill to introduce the Freedmen's Savings and Trust Company, meaning we get our own bank, which we did get. That Senator Henry Wilson was Grant's vice president. Okay. He put that bill together in the Senate. In the House of Representatives, Charles Sumner was the head of that and pushed that through. Facts. Okay. Now, Charles Sumner, I'm going to read this. Senator Sumner was trying to drive Seward from the cabinet, which this is the Secretary of State for Abraham Lincoln. Sumner was trying to get rid of Seward for cabinet by forcing the nomination of Dickinson, and at the same time hoping to send Hamlin back to Maine to take the senatorial seat from Sumner's old enemy, William Fessenden. So Sumner is a senator from Massachusetts, but you have his enemy that's in power there, and here you have Hannibal Hamlin, who's the vice president. If he gets voted out, it's likely he'd take his old seat. Hamlin would take his old seat by removing Fessenden, and at the same time, if Dickinson gets in, it's a good chance that William Seward is going to leave the cabinet. Okay. And so this was like a double win for Sumner to vote against Hamlin. Okay. So I just want to show you how the politics be, man. You know what I mean? But again, to the first point is, listen, man, Abe ain't do that. This was strategy. And even if Abe did it, it's understandable, because here's what the Republican Party had to go through at this time, and this is art of war. And if you can't understand this, I don't think that you got military thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could tell who got military thinking. And this is why I say, let's be like this, that man talk to me. So the Republicans say, listen, if you run Lincoln and Hamlin from New England, that's 100% abolitionist area over there. We already won this, we already almost at the end of the Civil War. This may be a problem. The Civil War ain't over. This may be a problem. But if we kind of mix it up a little bit and we get a war Democrat, somebody that's a Democrat, but somebody that is standing with the Union, they don't believe in the Confederacy, which Andrew Johnson allegedly didn't believe in the Confederacy, right? He didn't believe in slavery, although a slave owner strong enough to go against the United States of America. You see what I'm saying? The government was the government. He respected that. And you got to understand the mindset of people. Some people wanted slaves so much that they're like, yo, fuck this. We out. We creating our own country, the Confederate States of America. Then you had some white boys that slaveholders like, nah, bro, I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's going too far. I ain't doing that. And that's just what it was. And then them same sentiments was up north. You know what I'm saying? You had some people up north that probably went and fought for the Confederacy. Listen, man, his name is slipping me, but he's from Kentucky. He's an old statesman. He had 4 sons. 2 joined the Union and the other 2 joined the Confederacy. You imagine that? Like, see, this is why I'm gonna be wanting to hear that. Can you imagine 2 of your sons fighting for the Confederacy and the other 2 are fighting in the Union, which means they can potentially be in battle against each other and kill each other over this issue of slavery. You understand what I'm saying? So you had these mindsets. So the Republican mindset was, okay, how can we kind of temper some things down and win? Because if we out of power, think about this. This is the 1864 election. If Lincoln get voted out, and let's just say a slave person from the South with Southern interests gets voted in, what you think is about to happen? They're going to call a truce to the Civil War, call the Civil War over. The North don't win. General Lee don't surrender the next year in 1865. And then they can possibly, the 13th Amendment ain't even here in 1865, so you still legally not free. You understand what I'm saying? That's a problem, bro. That's a major problem. So if the consensus is this war is wreaking havoc on people, some Northerners like, yo, I thought this was going to be quick. This shit started in 1861. It's now 1864. You know, pretty soon we in 1865. It's about to be 4 years. What's going on here? I think we just need to give up this cause. That's a concern. So in order for you to win this thing over, we may have to kind of split this ticket. Somebody who ain't with the Confederacy, obviously, but someone that, you know, that got slaves, but, you know, he still stand to defend the Union cause of the government. You understand what I'm saying? And in order to keep this thing going, that's what they had to do, and that ticket won. Okay, so you know, man, you know, this is just that art of war talk. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. So anyway, man, hope you enjoy. Subscribe, share with a friend, and whatnot. Playing around with the little background. I know sometimes it fade in and out. It ain't no green screen, whatnot. Instead, I just want to see how it turned out. And but share, subscribe, man, and I'll see you on the next video. All right, peace. Hey, it's spiritual politics, man. Yeah, priesthood shit. How they gonna miss the spirit with politics? I pledge allegiance to the flag that came and got us about that situation called slavery. Bitch niggas don't want to talk about it. They gonna make up all kind of elaborate stories and shit. Get ready for it. Here we go. Union soldiers made slavery over. Harriet Tubman, she was a Union soldier.